Hey guys, what's up? Pitmarthra here, and welcome back to Let's Play Fire Emblem Path of Radiance. It has been a while since I've recorded this, since we had that last episode, because it was 5 parts long, because it was a multi-stage level. But we are now finally back in my case. For you guys, it's probably been like, I don't know, a couple days probably. And who knows, this might be going around Christmas, might be going up around then, it kind of just depends. Maybe I'll do a short or something for Christmas, I honestly have no idea. But, we've done excellent work, and thanks to us, the wound that has scarred Benyon for many long years can finally begin to heal. So, after doing all of her bidding, Benyon now offers its support to Crimea's restoration. We finally have an ally on our side that can actually fight for us, as opposed to Gallia, where they wanted to help but weren't really in a position to do so. So Prime Minister Saffron is yet to return, so can't provide a lot of enforcements, but she will spare what troops that she can. Yes, our land needs the Laguz. Equal opportunity. Now we're just... Okay, we get it. We get it. You can stop now. You can stop now. Yes, we must rebuild Crimea, but to do that we gotta reconquer it. It kinda got taken away from us early in the game. Yeah, I'm gonna leave now. Hold, I am most definitely not through with you. What did I do now? If you're to help lead the Crimean Liberation Army, you must be given a more appropriate title. If you're talking about making me a noble, I'll decline, thanks. You're not in a position to refuse. Giving some nameless mercenary control of Benyon's troops would be problematic. Yeah, they would not give you the proper respect, more than likely. And more importantly, it would affect the troops. You resign yourself to this and receive peerage from Princess Alencia. Yeah, Ike, sorry, you don't get any choice. You will class change and you will like it. He has to do what's necessary. Kneeling before Alencia. In the name of House Crimea, I hereby grant you the title and rank of Lord and all the honors it conveys. Rise, Lord Ike. So finally, Ike will get his class changed. He will only get this one, and it starts after daybreak, so you'll get it at the end of chapter 17. It is forced, so if you're wondering why I couldn't use Ike, or chose not to, this is wise, because we were waiting for his class change, and now he finally has it. And there you go. He's still got a ways to go, though, because he's been through so many chapters without getting levels. He's actually a little bit behind on some stats. And note this is, since this is a class change that is story-driven and also Ike is our main character, you'll note that his portrait actually changes as well. Whereas, you know, with other characters like Sora, whenever he class changed, he didn't get the purple robes. It just stayed the default color for him as a mage. Because you were required to use Ike. I guess that's one other reason, but... It'd be kind of cool if they did that, but at the same time, I completely understand why, so. And Ike doesn't care, he just wants to go smash things. Now that he's classed up, he can! We'll actually get to start using Ike again. Who would have thunk it? Western Benyon is home to a great forest. At one time, these woods were home to the kingdom of Cernus and ruled by the Heron clan of the bird tribes. Yeah, that little area right there, right in the center of the map. Just where we were last chapter, and no, thankfully, we're not going to go back. So yes, following the massacre, the forest lost its color, and for 20 years, you know, they felt bad about it, and for good reason. So Sanaki stepped forward and apologized to the two that were left. And yes, hate is a bad thing. So they accepted the apology and restored the forest to how it should be proper. Return to its former glory. Wonderful way of saying it. So, yes. Okay, now we're just reiterating exactly what happened just a second ago. So yes, he is given peerage and receives command of the army. So yeah, he's actually in full control of the Crimean Liberation Army. This includes his own mercenary group, everybody he's encountered so far, and the soldiers, or what soldiers are given to him from Benyon. So he is, like, full-on control of an actual army. Even though he is just, you know, up to this point, he was just a leader of a band of mercenaries, and it was really just because his dad was the leader originally. Chapter 18, Crimea Marches. Finally. Now, we haven't been seeing a lot of these, but we will start occasionally seeing conversations between Ashnard and the four riders of Dayan, in this case being the Black Knight. So according to their spy, the march, and they are planning to take a land route through Dayan and then into Crimea, so they're headed to Dayan first. He doesn't. He's just a boy, not yet worthy of his father's name. Yeah, well, he's class changed now, punk. Though his skill with the blade is rough, there's something uncanny about him. People seem drawn to him. He's granted trust of the Serenus survivors and of King Phoenixus as well. Yeah, so there you go. That would be another problem, is because we helped out Rayson, now the Phoenixus birds could also potentially be on our side. So, believe it or not, story-wise, and if you're actually thinking about this from not an RPG standpoint, but from an actual war standpoint, we went from just the mercenary band to our own band, the Herons, the Hawks, and also Benyon, and if that's the case, then Gallia might join as well, so that would pretty much pin Dayan just by itself, and potentially the Crows, but that's about it. Bring one of them to me, I care not which one, and I want the medallion as well. Once we cross that Great Wall, we'll be in Dayan. Dayan Wyvern's on patrol, they will not be happy to see us. Yeah, more than likely not. You face Wyvern Riders in combat. Technically, only a few times. I got the impression that the Killless Ravens were more the dangerous foe. Yeah, not really. You could have fought them if you remember back in, I believe, Chapter 11, Blood Runs Red. If you went over to where Jill was with these other Wyvern Riders, you could have fought them there, yes, but we know how Wyvern Riders works, because I've already mentioned the difference between them and Pegasus Knights, and yes, they are exceedingly powerful by comparison. Pegasus Knights fare better against most, or fare better than most against Wyvern Riders. You're faster, that's pretty much it. I think overall, personally, for me, I prefer the Wyvern Knights more. And maybe not in this game. Well, no, probably in this game. But there are some times where I prefer the Pegasus Knights more, but as a whole, through all the Fire Emblems I've played, I kind of prefer the Wyvern Knights more. But there are some good Pegasus Knights in Fire Emblem games out there. There's some ones that are just absolute terrors whenever you get them up to high levels. So there we go. Got a lot of money, too. Sweet. Alright, let's actually head into our convoy, and let's see if we got it. We in fact... Oh no, it's still at B. That's a shame. Yeah, just that one. Alright. I was kind of hoping we'd get it from that last chapter, because it's multi-stage, but whatever. We'll start with the 1-stars here. What can you tell me about King Dayan? So, yeah, of course, she hadn't fought him either. So Ashnard was coronated 18 years ago. A plague had struck the capital. More on this, I believe, in the sequel game. It spread out to affect the surrounding region of Nivasa, which is the capital of Dayan, and a little bit on. Ashnard was crowned the year after the tragedy subsided. No calamity has claimed the lives of so many Bjork and Lagoos, not since the Great Flood. So yes, the year after that, close to 1,000 Bjork nobles and peasants alike perished in Dayan. So yes, the royal family fell victim to this plague as well. The reigning king and queen, and some 20 or so princes and princesses fell ill. Anyone who fell ill perished for a time. The people despaired of losing the entire bloodline. It seemed that no one would survive, and yet Ashnard did. His name was never mentioned at any talk of succession before that time. He was such of a distant bloodline that he was unlikely to be king. Interesting. But he was known highly on the battlefield. Dayan is home to many brave warriors, and at the time, then Prince Ashnard was said to have been a match for an entire troop of Pegasus Knights. So a very strong warrior, but not in line for the throne until a mysterious plague wiped out most of the royalty. Interesting. So this is solely due to the strength of one man, Ashnard. Well, no, that was actually kind of an interesting story. I usually don't bother to read these. That was actually a little bit interesting. I knew about the whole thing with the plague, but I didn't know about him being a huge warrior even back then. That's kind of interesting. Alright, you, what's up? Are you sure you want to be here? You keep asking. I like his face. He looks just like really bored. He's like, ugh, this guy again. that is true. See, this process. Yeah, that is true. So, she's gonna work at that. Hopefully. We want to help. Alright, fine. You can sit on the bench and just wait here until the game ends. If you think I'm like, if you honestly think between these two that I'm just like misusing them and not using them at all, just wait till you see what happens in the sequel. They get so screwed. Like, hardcore screwed. It's kind of sad what happens actually, because they'd be really good if not. And no, they don't die. You don't have to worry about that. But it's just like, they get screwed over so bad by the game itself in Radiant Dawn. So yes, this is obviously a conversation about Ike being the leader, and so he's not quite used to dealing with, you know, everybody. Here, there you go again. Guys, General Tanth requests her orders. Just let her do what she wants, man. She's also a general. Let her do whatever. Yeah, there you go. So her knights will not be deployed unless there's a request for reinforcements. Those are the orders of General Tanith. I don't know if they're referring to her ability, but I am going to go over that. I don't remember if it's this chapter or the next, but we will go over it because it's very, very useful for a very specific chapter in getting an item. Right, we already went over that. Okay. So, Ike, if you want to look at his stats again, here you go. He has a sword unequipped, so I'm just going to go ahead and re-equip the Regal Sword. If you used it up at this point, it's fine. Just remember it's got a bonus effect on armored units and knights, so it's pretty good. If it broke long ago, that's also fine. Remember also that his weapon level may not be maxed. Mine's at B, which is usually about where it is. So if you want him to start wielding silver weapons, you're going to have to get him up to A. Because I believe silver weapons are A level, so just be aware of that. I'm going to go ahead and put this in the convoy and take a Vulnerary out, because the Hark's got one left. You're doing fine, you're doing fine. Oh. Let me put this back up. Is there... Yeah, we'll take the Laguz Lance out. I believe, if this is the map that I'm thinking of, which it's one of two, Laguz weapons might come in handy for the last part of it, because there's a lot of crow reinforcements. If it's not the one I'm thinking of, then, well, that's moot, and it'll just be an extra weapon for her. That all looks good. I need to deal with that Adept skill. I'm glad I picked that up. Let's see, you're alright. I need to start working on Mist's levels now that everybody else is, you know, getting into their class change forms. I still need to get into Zahark one more level, but he's not that far away. Where'd he go? There he is. Yeah, he's only 8 experience shy of it, so I can fix that problem momentarily. Oscar's alright, Mia's alright. Still on the fence about Stefan. We'll see how that goes. Yeah, well, this looks pretty good. So let's go ahead and... Actually, did we ever pick up a, on the off chance, did we pick up a... No, we did not. If you're wondering, I was looking for a Master Crown, so I just didn't have to use the 8 experience, but it's only 8, it's not that big a deal. We'll just go and do it. Remember, that was a multi-stage level. We got a bunch of experience from each part of that, so 8's not that big of a loss. We'll just go and get him the Sword Master now, because... Obviously, the better stats you have, the better you're going to do on the field, and class change is the #1 way to get a bunch of points at once. This can also put him as a candidate for Astra if I want to give it to him at some point. That actually looks kind of cool. Yay, you've got 3 resistance! You've really gone places. And yeah, Swordmaster didn't get to pick, but that's perfectly fine. Yeah, he actually looks kind of cool like that. I'd wear a robe like that if I was a Swordmaster, nice and purple. Okay. Is anybody, like, in serious... Yeah, you're up at Halberdier, so your class changed as well. Sniper... Oh. That was actually my CD. That was not the capture lagging. That was just outright the CD. It does that sometimes. I will go ahead and note this right now. This is a case in both... There we go. In both Path of Radiance and Radiant Dawn, whenever you start to pick up more units like this, it is going to make like a few annoying sounds and be a little bit slow with going through all your units whenever you first come here, because, you know, there's just more of them on screen. Maybe it's my Wii, but I don't think it is. It's just something that I've noticed that can sometimes happen. So you've really got one of two options at this point. You can either take all your experience and give it to somebody that's not class changed, or you can give it to Ike, who's going to be level 1 guaranteed at this point. Let's see. I'm going to go ahead and give him 1 level. But the rest is probably going to... Well, no. 527. No, let's just give it to Mist. If I can get her to 15, I'll give the remaining to Ike if it can get him a level. If not, then we'll just give the rest of it to Mist as well. Yay, a point in strength. What you want to be seeing each time is HP, magic, maybe speed, and resistance. Defense would be nice, but, I mean, a cleric getting defense doesn't usually happen. I think she has more defense than Soren, but, I mean, Soren's also a magic user, so... Oh yeah, I said I'd stop at 15. Can I get him up till... Yeah, okay, then let's do it. Let's just go ahead and do it right now. I know his stats look like they're okay. You know, they're really my huge choice whether I wanted to do that or not, and then just no. Alright, fine, I see how it is. I don't think that's enough for her. No, it's not. Okay. Well, in that case, let's just go ahead and give the rest of it to Ike. Might as well. And here, have an experience point. Go for it. Why not? Though his stats look like they're, you know, relatively decent. That's not what I was trying to do. His stats look like they're relatively decent, you know, like 17, 19, 20. They all look like they're okay, and then you've got, if it would stop lagging, like, his strength is higher there, skill is equal, speed is 1 below, defense is the same, so about the same as Nephany, but for whatever reason, he's, like, surprisingly farther behind than you think, because the stats you're looking for are what he gets at about level, I don't know, probably about 8 or 9, Lord. Like, he's not invincible like some of your other units might seem, by comparison, is the point I'm trying to make. So, do be a little bit careful with this guy. Is there any, Yeah, see, he can't use Silver Blade yet. That's a weapon. Or a level weapon. So, let's give him... He can already do bonus damage to horseback units. So let's just go with an Iron Blade, I guess. So that's 7, 5, 8, 9. Yeah, that'll be the strongest one technically, so we'll go ahead and do that. Keep in mind though, he is a he's not a swordmaster, he is just a lord unit, which is just his upgrade from ranger. So he's not going to be as skilled with accuracy bonuses because his, you know, speed and skill will typically be lower than that of a swordmaster. So just keep that in mind. As far as a lord unit goes though, like typically in Fire Emblem, your lord units, be them, you know, sword units, magic units, whatever, they're typically known for being very, very frail, but Ike is actually quite strong by comparison, so he's one of the better, if not the best, lord unit you'll come across. There are some other good ones out there, don't get me wrong, like Crom, but Ike is a very good option in comparison to some of the other ones. And this is the map I'm thinking of. Good. The enemy should not yet be aware that we've come this far. To launch a surprise attack and try to capture this wall on our first charge. Please wait for us at the base camp. Alright, see you later. This might be our first battle as the official army, but we fought Dan many times. Yeah, since like, what, chapter 5? I can't lose my very first battle as a snooty noble, can I? That is true. You can't. You can't just be lying on the ground and going, ah, stop it. In the sky, something's coming! It's a bird! It's a plane! It's... Oh, it actually is a bird. Never mind. Tabarn, what's going on, dude? It's been a while. It's been like, what, one chapter? So, that was the original plan, but someone here insisted that we follow you. Quite unreasonably, I might add. Raisin, really? That was not who I was expecting. Well, it is, because I played the game before, but normally it would not be. And, oh, I forgot to pull up the ancient language. Hold on, let me click on this, and this is chapter 18, so... Oh, he just says we must act so accordingly, isn't that silly? And she just says, yes, brother. And that's all that there will be for that, for this chapter, for that. So, oh well. She basically just said, yeah. Okay, thanks. So, in order to repay the debt, They cannot fly. We can view our allies with strength. Yeah, I think we already had this conversation last chapter. So you can either allow them to join or refuse. There is no bonus for refusing, so you might as well just allow them to join. Plus, it gets you a really cool item, I believe, next chapter. Like a really, really good one. You're lucky to find your sister. Shouldn't you stay by your side? Leander understands what I do. Alright, cool. So Rayson has joined us, and we'll get aid from Tabarn as well. Not with him in all actuality, because that would break the game horribly. But you will get... There we go. Janeth. And Ulki as well, I believe. Yes. So, only sorry I can't do more. You could join us, man. You would like well, probably not, because then that would get Dan coming after y'all, but either way. Your actions have created a bond of trust between yourselves and the Hawk and Heron clans. Sweet. It's kind of a shame you can't use Tabarn, but like I said, that would break it horribly. Horribly. We finally understand one another. We have to murder Dan. All of them. Not really. Alright, so, wow, you get a lot of units. Well, 13, I guess that's not a huge amount. We kind of went over Janeth and Ulki already. I'll go over them momentarily. First, I'm going to go ahead and start with the map. Starting out here, note that there are 3 Wyvern Riders right here. These guys will come after any units you leave behind, so go ahead and leave a couple behind whenever you start. Heading up here, you'll notice that inside of the wall, there are treasures, which means you're also going to want to take at least 1 thief with you. There's some other ones right here, and that's it. After a while, some bird tribes will come in as reinforcements, and they will come up through this area and head back here. Usually they'll only actually start being able to attack you about the time that you get to the boss. This guy's a level 8 Sage with Tornado, which is high-level wind magic, where I talked about the gross color that the tornado made. This is where I got it from. His stats are actually pretty decent. He comes with a skill called Nihil, or Nihil. Either way, it basically cancels any skills you have, because Nihil is Latin for nothing, so it basically blocks any skills that you have. Not really great for a boss that's like this, but for, you know, any other boss, probably would be alright, but for an enemy with relatively low defense, not that great. You want that for a prolonged battle more so. Aside from that, as you can see, you'll be going up and through the wall, but most importantly, even though you might not have noticed him initially, is a character that you might recognize now. That's right, Shinnen, a level 2 sniper, which I believe he'll stay at whatever level he left the group in originally. So he got 1 level, I think, in my playthrough, so he stayed as level 2. He might actually still be level... He might have started as 2, I don't remember. But, yes, he's actually joined forces with Day Inside. There will be a cutscene about this momentarily. In order to recruit him again, because you can recruit him again, you will need both Rolf and Ike, but I will get more on the details of that when we actually get up towards fighting him. So for now, don't worry about it. As you can see, his stats will be whatever you've seen prior. So 10, 6, 15, 14, 10, 9, and 6. I'm willing to bet Rolf probably has better stats. Yeah, a little bit. 15, 5, 20, 20, 12, 13, and 8. So pretty much across the board, Rolf is better, even though they're the same levels. So if you didn't believe me earlier when I said Rolf can get better than Shinnen, there's your proof right there. Already better. Boom. Okay, now that we have gone on past that, let's go back to choosing units. Janeth and Ulki will not be participating in this fight. I am going to close both of them out. Rayson is kind of interesting. Like I said, I'll talk about him momentarily. I'm probably going to go ahead and start with Janeth, though. So let me pull up sorry. I don't know, Janeth just, like, portrait looks like a female to me. I don't remember if it's a male or female. Let's find out, shall we? Janeth is... As soon as it shows up... Yo, don't do that. Janeth is male. That's kind of what I figured, but I don't know, the picture looks female-esque to me. I don't know why. I think it's the fact he's got like a bun on the back where that little black spot is. It looks like a hair bun, and that's typically a female hairstyle, but either way. Going over Rayson's stats, let's see. His stats are... Oh, right, also important. Whenever they transform, their stats will increase, and then whenever they transform back, some of them will lower. So, in Janeth's case, his strength will go from 13 to 18, his skill will go from 15 to 20, his speed will go from 17 to 20, his defense will go from 11 to 15, his resistance will go from 10 to 12, and his constitution, which is his weight, will go from 8? No, that's a 6. It will go from 6 to 16, and his movement will go from 6, which you can see in the top right, to 8. So, more across the board. His growth rates are HP 130%, Strength 55%, Magic 10%, Skill 70%, Speed 65%, Luck 40%, Defense 30%, and Resistance 25%. And then, of course, my iPad promptly crashes. Fantastic! Well, no, I don't want to show that. He comes with the ability Insight. This increases his hit percentage. So basically makes him more accurate. As you can see, his transform gauge, kind of like Leith's, makes it to where he can transform and start fighting immediately when the battle begins. So that's actually a very useful thing to have, similar to how Leith's worked. Let's see if I can actually scroll down. Does it have any info on him? No, it does not. Well, that's kind of obnoxious. Fine, I'll give the info of what I know personally from using Janeth and Ulki. Between these two, Janeth is more of the attack-based unit. Even though Ulki's strength is higher, he has a better growth rate in defense, I believe. And he's kind of more the, as you can tell by his skill, increases dodge ability with vigilance. Janeth is more the attack-based one, and Ulki is more the defensive and dodging-based one. So, even though the stats don't really show it immediately, Janeth has higher speed and skill, so fast attacker, and then Ulki's got higher defense and something else. No, mostly just defense, so he's more of a defensive unit. He does have that vigilance to help him dodge, but Janeth is more your attack unit, and Ulki is more your defense. Janeth is one level higher than him, but his HP is lower, so that's really about the only difference. Ulki has a slightly higher weight, if you care. I'm not really a big fan of either one of these. Note that Ulki's transformation gauge starts out pretty low, only at 5, so he won't be able to help until a couple turns have gone by in battle. But really, I'm not a big fan of either of these units. They're okay. I mean, they're not bad. If you want a Laguz unit, they're pretty decent to go with. But if you've been using a Pegasus Knight instead and you like the Pegasus Knight units, or even a Wyvern Rider by extent, then you really don't need either of these two from the Bird Tribe, which, like I said, kind of a shame, but at the same time, it's not really a huge loss. So, I mean, it's kind of up to you. They're not bad, but I wouldn't recommend them if you have other flyers at this point. If you want more flyers, then I would probably say it depends on your playstyle, once again, attack or defense, but if I had to pick one of the two, I would probably actually go with Ulki over Janeth, and that's only because he's more defensive. Equipping Full Guard on either one of these guys would be a great option, obviously, because that would block the damage from arrows and wind magic, so if you're using one of them, that would be a very good choice to have. Lastly, we have Rayson. As you can see by his stats, primarily focuses on luck, resistance, and to some extent, actually kind of speed, but no strength, no defense whatsoever, so don't even bother with those. Let's see. When transformed... Oh, right, I forgot about Ulki's. My bad. Well, let me see if I can find it on here. No, I cannot. Alright, then we'll go ahead and go over Rayson's, and then I'll go back to Ulki's really quickly. When transformed, his magic goes from 10 to 15, skill goes from 11 to 14. No, not on you. There we go. Magic goes from 10 to 15, skill goes from 11 to 14, speed goes from 14 to 18, defense goes from 2 to 3, whoop-de-doo. Resistance goes from 20 to 25, and Constitution, which is his weight, goes from 8 to 14. His movement goes from 5 to 8. So, primarily important in movement, because it ups your movement space by 3. That's very useful. So, while Rayson is indeed frail, this is a trait that's typical of Heron units, which I will go ahead and say right now, this is the only Heron unit you're going to get. It says Bird Tribe, but Heron, White Wing, that type of unit. This is the only one you're going to get. Let's see. If the player decides that giving another unit an extra turn is beneficial, then Rayson will be an asset. If it is vital to bring him along for Chapter 19 next chapter, which I'll talk about that next time, but if you feel like the extra movement is important, then bring him. If you are not good about keeping your frail units covered, such as your healers, then I would really not recommend this guy. It's like I said, kind of up to you, but you do have to be very, very careful in protecting him. Whenever he gets his growth rates, he will get HP 65%, Strength 5%, Magic 40%, Skill 50%, Speed 50%, Luck 60%, Defense 15%, and Resistance 50%. So what you're looking at for levels is primarily HP, Skill, Speed, Luck, and Resistance, but not Defense or Strength. Magic stat is also pretty high, but he's based on skill rather than magic stat, so magic, while nice, is not necessary. His high resistance means that he probably won't get hurt by magic that bad, but for physical attacks, archers, any other, you know, unit like that, other Lagoos, then he will be in trouble. So he comes with Canto, which this is the ability that lets allies move again. All flyers have this, horseback units have them, etc. And Blessing. Whenever your turn starts, if he is adjacent to, which means up, down, left, or right of, another unit that is not at full HP, this will restore their HP. I don't remember in this game if it's full or if it is a specific amount. It will probably just show, because I am going to end up using Racing, or going to try to for at least a few fights. And once again, if he turns out bad, then he turns out bad. We'll kind of just play it by ear with him. In addition, we also have Tanith, which I believe that's the only person who shows up on here. Unless... no, Sigrun will show up later. Tanith is a level 10 Falcon Knight. We've already seen well, we haven't seen Falcon Knights before. We've seen Pegasus Knights. So she's the class change of this. Reinforce, for her ability, this allows the unit to call partner reinforcements. While this does not sound very helpful because they're partner reinforcements, so you have to command them yourself, in one chapter in particular, this is very, very useful, and it might be useful in later ones later. I haven't used her that much for Reinforce. I've used her as a unit, but not for Reinforce that much. But it is great for basically calling out partner reinforcements that you're not going to be able to keep regardless, and sending them out for suicides so the enemy will get distracted. Is very, very useful. In addition, her weapon levels are pretty high. She's got an A in Sword and a B in Lance, so pretty versatile with either one of those. If you want to use Lances for her, you need to get it up a little bit, but likely if you're using Jill, you're probably not going to worry about that anyway. As you can see, she's got pretty good stats across the board. I mean, even for a Falcon Knight, that strength is pretty respectable. Speed is incredibly high. She also comes with a Sonic Sword. This is a blade that uses magic, not strength, to attack, and it is ranged. I don't know why they gave it to her. I know her magic's 10, but her strength is still higher. And she also comes with a short spear. We've seen these before, so nothing new from that. Let's see her stats. You can see why I did not bother to pull these up on my iPad all at once, because I'd have a bunch of tabs just one after the other. So, Tanith, for her stats, as soon as I can scroll down, her growth rates are HP 60%, Strength 40%, Magic 35%, which is incredibly high for a non-magic user. Skill 70%, Speed 40%, Luck 30%, Defense 25%, and Resistance 30%. So, Tanith stats can be eclipsed by Marcia, the Pegasus Knight. If you actually did train her up, that is true. Marcia's stats will usually be better, maybe not magic and like one other stat, but as a whole, Marcia will usually be better in the end. But she still has good enough stats to use. She, like I said, A rank in swords, and that takes a while for Marcia to get because she starts out with lances, and she only gets swords when she class changes. So it does take a little while for that. She's a decent unit. Like I said, I would recommend using her for her reinforcement skill. What it does in particular is it will allow you to call in 2 Pegasus Knights and 1 Falcon Knight. So yeah, it can be used. They can be used as distractions or meat shields or whatever you want to use them for. And you can actually use reinforce not once but twice each level. So you get 6 extra reinforcements just from that alone. Very, very useful to have. So if you need meat shields, yeah, great unit. If you want a Falcon Knight that's relatively decent, go for it. If you've got flying units that you already have and you really don't want any more, then don't bother with her. She's only going to go up 10 levels, and at that point she'll be maxed at 20, so you're not going to see these stats increase super, super high, but decent unit nonetheless. I'm going to... okay, that was weird. I could have sworn I heard a noise that was like whenever you connect the Wii remote. That was weird. I'm going to keep racing, but not use the other 3, and I will switch them out for Mia, Oscar, and for... ooh, that's actually a tough call, because there is ranged magic in this one. Let's go with Volk, just because of that. I should go ahead and mention this. There's a guy right here that has bolting, which is ranged lightning magic, and then another guy... where is he? No, that's not him. There's another one that's got ranged... yeah, here he is. Blizzard. He's got ranged wind magic. I knew it was hanging around there somewhere. So, yeah, watch out for the 2 of those. Keep in mind that the wall cannot be climbed by anybody, even flying units. So you don't really have to worry about that. That's not really the problem here. For who I'm leaving behind... these are primarily lance users, so I'm going to try to avoid swords. It looks like mostly just lance users across the board, so sword users are going to have trouble regardless. So I'm going to leave Oscar behind, because that's just a good all-around unit to leave here. let's leave... I should be going with high-level units. Or the highest levels for units. So, let's leave Mia behind. Well, no, I said no sword user. We'll leave... Come on, make up your mind. No, let's go and leave Mia behind. No, I want to do that. Leave Mia behind. I'm not going to leave Rolf behind, because you need to take Rolf up this way with you if you're going to recruit Shannon. So, leave him here. I don't want to take Leaf, because she might transform back. Well, actually, no. Let's... I don't know. Yeah, let's just leave Jill and Leaf here. That's better chance for support, and those are both good units for fighting Wyvern units. I'll probably leave one of these two behind as well. We'll just kind of play it by ear. Put Racing towards the back, Mist towards the back, Volt towards the back, Soren. Yeah, that looks like the best option. I don't want to take in too many ranged attackers only here, but Ike needs to get levels too, so that looks like a pretty decent option. So, let's begin. Oh look, it's our best friend. Wow, Keache. That is a beautiful name, sir. You're starting to lose your hair in the front. You're going a bit bald there. Oh well. So small unit will remain here and cooperate with you. Okay, so yeah, once again, there will be crow reinforcements. Why does Dan ally himself with some backwater human sub-nation? Yeah, backwater's right. Maybe not the subhuman part, but the backwater, yeah. The Crimea has no idea that we're aware of their every move. Whatever. I don't care how talented he is, their commander is nothing more than a young mercenary with delusions of grandeur. So yeah, that lord title basically did nothing, but whatever. We'll show them what a real war is like. And the Killus Ravens, how should we deal with them? We'll use them as bait. We'll sacrifice them and reduce our own casualties. Yeah, whatever, dude. If that's what you want to try to do, then by all means, but... What are you doing over here? You there, halt! You're an unfamiliar face. You'll know it soon enough. He still doesn't care, man. He's got a lot of nerve, hasn't he? Is he one of yours? Yes, sir. He's a new recruit that was only signed to me today. Please accept my apologies for his lack of training or manners whatsoever. More so manners. He's good. If he's good, I can look. Let me try that one more time. If he's good, I can overlook almost any character flaw. Yeah, that's kind of a general rule of the Daean army as a whole, which, you know, as much as you should be honorable and respectful, there comes a point where, you know, it's just where ability outclasses all of that. Like a good person once says, you can either deal with nice people or be dead. Which no one's ever said that, I just made it up. Oh well!